Good morning, everyone. My name is Derek Edstrom. I'm a divisional director with the City of Kelowna. I'm delighted to be your MC today and thank everyone for joining us. I want to start off by acknowledging that we are gathered today on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Syilx Okanagan people in a beautiful area that we all appreciate. Many thanks to Minister Kang, Mayor Dias, and Mayor Getz for joining us. Okanagan Lake provides a beautiful backdrop for today's event, doesn't it? It's just stunning. It reminds us of how fortunate we are to have this incredible natural resource in our community. Kelowna is a water city, but all BC communities depend on their water supply, and we need to do all we can to keep them clean and sustainable. To share more about an important investment from the province to improve water infrastructure in two great communities, I'd like to introduce Minister Kang.
Thank you so much, Derek. And hello, everyone. My name is Ann Kang. I'm the MLA for Burnaby Deer Lake, but here today as the Minister of Municipal Affairs. I see in the crowd today that my friend Renee Merrifield, the MLA for Kelowna Mission, is here today. So please give her a warm welcome. I also like to acknowledge that we're gathered here today on the traditional territory of the Okanagan Nation. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here to join the Mayor of Kelowna, Tom Dias, and a Mayor of Merritt, Michael Getz. I would also like to recognize that in the crowd, there are members of the Kelowna Chambers and also Kelowna Council who are joining us in the audience today. So thank you so much, councillors, for joining us. So we are here this morning to celebrate the partnership and investment between the province and local governments that will make a real difference for people here in Kelowna as well as in Merritt. Our province is growing, and we know that we need to invest in infrastructure to create successful communities and a healthier environment for everyone. And that is why today we are announcing a total investment of $6 million for the City of Kelowna and also the City of Merritt for drinking water and wastewater treatment projects. This is a very exciting announcement because we know that this is very well needed in our communities. The province is providing $3 million to the City of Kelowna to strengthen and reinforce the earthworks on Turtle Lake Dam and improve the wastewater management in the Rutland area by eliminating aging septic systems. These projects will reduce the risk of water quality deterioration in groundwater sources and Okanagan Lake, helping protect the health and residents of this beautiful environment that we see here. We're also supporting the City of Merritt with $3 million to provide new water meters with automatic meter reading system for residential connections in Merritt. This project will reduce water consumption and support the sustainability of local ecosystems. We know from flooding events in Merritt and elsewhere how fragile our water ecosystems can be. And we know how vitally important it is to protect and strengthen our water infrastructure and build up its long-term resilience. These projects will promote sustainability, protect the environment, and support economic growth in both communities. I want to thank the mayors and council and all community members for your commitment to the long-term well-being of the waters. We know that the urgent need to upgrade aging infrastructure is not inclusive to the interior region. More people are choosing BC because of the opportunities families can find here. And I was having a conversation with Mayor Diaz, and people are coming to Kelowna as well because Kelowna is just so beautiful with mountains and waters and the people I see here. But this also has caused a demand for infrastructure, which puts strain on our local resources and our local government. Local governments are working hard to ensure communities are welcoming and vibrant, and we are here to support them. Today's announcement is in addition to that one-time $1 billion Growing Communities Funds, which is here to help all 188 local governments tackle their unique infrastructures and amenity needs. This commitment gives local governments the supports they need to undertake these critical projects and build those recreation centers, those parks, and childcare facilities that are the heart and soul of every community. I'm so excited to see the projects that these grants will help support here in Kelowna. We were able to act quickly and use this one-time funding to help BC communities because of our strong partnership with local governments. And I would love these strong partnerships and friendships to continue for many years to come. The issues that face BC here today are the ones that no order of government can handle on their own, and they shouldn't need to do that. We are committed to working together, building and improving relationships with each other so that today and together we can improve the lives of people who call British Columbia home. I am so proud of BC, so proud of Kelowna, and so proud of Merritt. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Minister Kang. Next, I'd like to introduce our Mayor, Tom Dias, the Mayor of the City of Kelowna.
Thank you, Derek, for that introduction, and thank you, Minister Kang, for being here today to announce these very important infrastructure investments. I want to also welcome fellow BC Interior Mayor Michael Getz of Merritt. We are pleased to have you here in Kelowna to celebrate these announcements with us today. I'd also like to acknowledge that my council colleague, Councillor Ron Cannon, is here, and as the Minister had mentioned, MLA Renee Merrifield, who has joined us here today. Minister Kang, Kelowna is very grateful to receive this $3 million grant through BC's new Critical Community Infrastructure Fund. This grant will help us address the urgent infrastructure needs for the Turtle Lake dams and the Rutland septic elimination projects. We appreciate the provincial government's funding support for these critical projects to serve our fast-growing community. Through these projects, we are taking action to advance Council's climate environment priorities, which includes the health of Okanagan Lake, and to ensure we have a resilient and safe infrastructure for our community. The work at the Turtle Lake dams includes reinforcement to address urgent safety concerns. The septic elimination project will build on the province's earlier commitments to wastewater management in the Rutland area and provide environmental benefits to support residents with failing septic systems. As more houses get built and more residents call Kelowna home, it is important that we continue to ensure safe, resilient, and reliable water and wastewater infrastructure to support the growth in our neighborhoods. These projects will begin this year and will be completed in 2027 and would not have been possible without the provincial government's support. We look forward to continued collaboration, provincial support, and opportunities to work together to support the growing infrastructure needs of Kelowna and surrounding communities. Thank you again, Minister Kang, to your ministry and to the province for this investment in a critical need for Kelowna. I would also just like to mention, as I had missed initially, that we also have MLA Ben Stewart here. So MLA Stewart, thank you also for joining us here today. And thank you, Minister Kang, for being here and these announcements for both of these interior communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Dias. Finally, I'd like to invite Michael Getz, Mayor of the City of Merritt, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, everyone. I just would like to bring you greetings from the City of Merritt on the unceded territory of the Inkakapna and the South people. I'm very proud to be here. Proud to have this announcement. Proud to have conversation with Minister Kang to bring our water meters to our community. Now, a lot of people are concerned to a certain degree about where we are with water, and after the floods in November, my city was without water for 24 days. So when you do not have a flow of water, you realize how precious this resource is. And this resource is supremely precious, and Merritt at this point is on a semi-watering meter system, but we just do not have the funds to have every home in our community on water meters. Water meters, as we all know, helps you monitor your usage and helps keep the water in the ground where it needs to be. As I said, there is no worse thing than waking up one day and finding out you have absolutely no water in your community. This also will go to the idea of helping us rebuild a lot of our infrastructure in the ground that does carry the water. A lot of that is still damaged and we're still working on it. I am very happy to have been to receive this and to make sure that we will put it to good use. And I would like to thank everyone very much. Thank you.
All right. Well, that concludes our general proceedings for today. I want to thank again everyone for coming out on this stunning day to enjoy this important announcement. We are going to open up the podium for Q&A. So I will moderate those questions that come in if there's any from the media. After that, we will have a picture opportunity just off to the side. And as I said, that concludes today's presentation. If there are media Q&A, we'd welcome them now, and it'll be taken from the podium.
First, we have CBC.
Hi there, it's Brady Strachan with CBC here. Just wondering if you could tell us some more information about the Kelowna projects. What is the urgent situation with the dam? And then in Rutland, what is the situation with the septic fields? And how will this funding address it? How many homeowners will be able to take advantage of this program?
Thank you for your question. Just for clarification, I believe it was just with regards to what is the concern with regards to the dam, and then how many individuals will be able to access the program with regards to septics. Is that it? So the Turtle Creek. The Turtle Lake Dam is basically a maintenance type of structure where the water levels within the dam has been lowered so that maintenance can be done when the water moves out of the dam down through into the river system. It is regular maintenance that has to be done, and it is in need of that maintenance. It's up above where Postel Lake is, and up above where McCullough Lake is, up in that area, and all of them have a process that kind of filters down into Mission Creek. So it allows the ability to control the flow. So that it's a set structure and secure enough to be able to maintain that flow, and it is maintenance. It is like infrastructure maintenance in that particular area, so that we stay ahead of it, so that there isn't any concerns with regards to that water flow down into the Mission Creek in a future. With regards to the septics system, it's along Dougal Road, and what happened is there's a lot of residential neighborhoods there that are on septic, and the concern with regards to septic, as we all know, is the costs associated for those residences in order to keep those septics maintained and keep them up to date, and then also just the health concerns that would be around that type of waste management. So it's to be able to connect them to our systems allows for a better outcome, as we said, for the neighborhoods, for the lake, and for also the community. It's just a safer way of addressing the septic concerns within our community. Did that touch upon the 2 points? Is there anything?
You know how many homes are we talking about in that area that will benefit from
I may about 200, roughly about 200 homes, and there is we're just as it kind of works its way through, we're connecting all of that, and then the homes would connect up to the systems themselves. And there is, a cost associated with regards to the homes connecting to the system. And there are a number of local credit unions that establish programs to allow residents to kind of access some of those programs to allow them to connect up. And what had happened initially with the program was that it was probably one of those ones that was going to have a slower type of approach to it, but there was a call from the residents within the neighborhood to say, you know what, if we're able to kind of connect to it, we'd like to connect to it sooner than later. So that allowed it to advance at a greater speed.
Thank you so much. This wraps up the on-site media. Now we'll move it over to the phone reporter for Alec Laisman from BC Today. Just a reminder that you have one question and one follow-up.
Hello there. My first question just is around the provincial call for federal infrastructure funding. I was just wondering, the premier's meeting with fellow Western premiers today, and I was just wondering what are some of the specific calls and what you'd like to see from the federal government in terms of infrastructure funding.
Minister Kang?
Thank you so much for this question. You're very up to date with what the Premier is doing today. I would be able to follow up with you maybe shortly after, but I've also had the opportunity to visit Ottawa just 2 weeks ago and meet with Minister Hussein, who was there for the Minister of Infrastructure, and staff was there as well. And from across Canada, we have talked about the importance of our growing communities, that it's very difficult for communities to grow without the infrastructure in place. And we were very thankful for the provincial, federal, and municipal partnership. And so things like the ISIP, the Investing in Infrastructure program, were very important, as well as the gas tax was also very important to us. So we made a strong advocacy for the federal government to be able to make their decisions soon so that we can continue our infrastructure program fundings without a gap in the year. And I think this has been a solid voice, united voice from all the provinces and territories across Canada to the federal government.
In terms of a dollar figure, I know specifics are still being ironed out, but is there a specific dollar figure that you're looking for from the federal government to fill that gap? And, what are some of the projects that you hope to work with municipalities moving forward in terms of what their local needs are?
Well, thank you for that question. That would be a harder question for me to ask, but what we have asked from our provinces and territories is that due to inflation and due to the cost of construction and the supply demand, that we are hoping that they would consider inflation as well as an increase of the funding that we originally got in our Investing in Infrastructure Fund 2 years ago.
I believe there's another online question.
This is Hernani with GCP Events. We just need to make sure that the other reporters on the phone, they have, if they have questions, please press *1 to enter the queue. We need to give them just a few moments to see if anyone else has other questions. Okay, yeah, that's all we have for today. Thank you. This concludes today's events.
Just to finalize our Q&A, our Mayor Tom Dias would like to make concluding comments.
I think the last question that was answered with regards to infrastructure funding is an extremely important one. At UBCM and also at FCM, which are either our provincial or our federal organizations which represent all of the mayors and councillors throughout either provincial or national. There was a request that the federal government and provincial government look at maintaining some level of consistent infrastructure funding and establish programs to allow municipalities to be able to move forward with exactly the projects that we're here today, allowing for us to budget accordingly. So it is great news that the province is in those discussions, and that the federal government is also in those discussions. It allows us to plan accordingly, and as anyone can appreciate, if we're looking at doing projects and everything is last minute, that cost is elevated with regards to doing them at the last minute. But establishing consistent infrastructure funding on a long-term basis, I think, will allow municipalities to move forward with projects and plan for projects and be even that much more cost-effective in the future. So, Minister, thank you very much for your comments around that. They're very much appreciated. Thank you.
And I believe the Mayor of Merritt would like to make one set of concluding comments, and then we'll go to group picture. So stick around, probably over to the side here. Mayor.
Thank you. As a mayor that's dealing with a disaster and trying to recover from the disaster, one of the things that I have gone through and our community has gone through is the ability to have both levels of government work together. The federal government runs a thing called DMF, which is Disaster Mitigation Adaptation Funding. And in order to have that happen, the province has to be on board with certain things to help you get along. So you end up having the federal government that has a DMF fund that had it closed for 13 months and is now opening up in July. So for almost 13 months, we've been in a holding pattern. One of my suggestions to the House of Commons when I testified by Zoom on the floor is the fact that DMF may want to either take the whole program over themselves or hand it to the province. My suggestion is the province. I think the province is more than capable to help with disasters in the community in their province. So that is where some of the situation does fall in. I did talk to Minister Kang very briefly at Silga about this and let her know that we would be needing her hand to help us get our funding and get this program designed correctly for other communities so you don't have to walk through this minefield of 3 levels of government trying to fix something without anybody really know what's going on. So thank you, Minister Kang, and hopefully we can get that fixed, and hopefully that's what they're discussing with the premiers today, is trying to get this funding correct and workable for everybody in this province. So thank you very much.
All right, we'll conclude with pictures. I think Mayor and Minister, if we can come over here and